Hey, Suzanne here. I want to give you an update on the garden, my fall garden. These are Chinese cabbage, and you can see there's some young ones planted there. What I do when I put things out, I go ahead and start a new batch of seedlings because I inevitably have things die. And it was so hot here in September that I did have probably about half of what I planted out die, which some people would see that's a waste of your time, but I mean, I did get half of it that lived, so that's good. And I've got more things ready to plug into any place where I've got a dead plant, so that works out fine for me. I've got broccoli here. Some of these, like this one, excuse all the traffic, it's a Monday night and everybody's coming home from work. Alright, a little bit of quiet so I don't have to yell. That one looks kind of scrappy. That one definitely looks scrappy. It's got some aphid damage in there. I don't know if you can see that. Normally what I'll do is I'll pull up sickly plants. I haven't got around to pulling that one out yet, but I probably will at some point this week. I've got a couple broccoli that I plugged in. And then here, I've got my first floret forming. And that's a variety I got from Johnny Seeds. I believe it's called Green Magic, and it has exceptional heat tolerance, and it's one of the faster to maturity broccolis that I looked at. That's just a lowly turnip. The turnips were, get out of the sun, the turnips were in really rough shape when I planted them. I had like a plug tray of 72, and some bugs got to them and ate probably 2/3 of them. And then I planted the rest out and maybe had a handful that survived the heat. So this is Caraflex cabbage. You can kind of see it's got the conical head shape. And then we have another Caraflex cabbage, and then I have it interspersed, not intentionally, but just because I forgot what I planted where, have it interspersed with a variety called Storage Number 4 that I also got from Johnny Seeds. I've got a variety of dinosaur kale called Toscano from Johnny Seeds. It's doing really well. We've already picked a lot of the kale. I had a niece come over a couple weekends ago, and she really put a hurting on the kale. She loved it. And I was eating it right there with her, so it was definitely hard for me to tell her no. So we ate it until it was time to stop picking it, to leave it alone. Another Caraflex. See how it's conical shaped? It's really cool. Storage Number 4, those look really good. There's a turnip that's doing a little bit better. And then here's some cabbages, both the Chinese variety and the storage and Caraflex that I planted in where I had some die-offs. You can see how many. And it normally was in a cluster, and that's because probably there were several slugs in that cluster or cutworms, and that was maybe their little evil grubby range, and so they kill all the plants in their little range. These two are kind of sickly also. They've always sort of kind of wilted, or this one's not really doing anything, it's getting eaten. This one's always wilted, so I suspect there's some sort of a root deformity there or a root parasite. We've got carrots here. The Negovia did really good. That's just your basic orange carrot. And then I had some Atlas. The first 2 times that I planted them, I had terrible germination. So, I mean, you can see this row and this row. This was the first planting. I mean, pitiful. And then this was the second try, pitiful. Finally, we've got some little guys coming up here. And then this was a variety called Malbec, and all these were from Johnny Seeds. The Malbec had terrible germination all 3 times, but particularly the second. Well, no, I lied. That's the first planting, and then here's what germinated the second planting. And then right here, these little guys, that's the third planting. So I think the third time was a charm. And I think it's just that those specialty varieties were not as capable of handling the heat as the main variety, because we did have 90 degree days in September. Sorry I keep getting the sun in your eyes. It's late. Sun's about to go down and I've got to cook supper. All right, all these are cauliflowers. I can't remember what I planted. Well, yes, I can. It's a variety called Bishop. It's a white cauliflower. This was my original planting of cauliflower. It went all the way to where those collards started, and that entire middle section got eaten or just disintegrated from the heat. All right, so these are Bishop, and you can see how robust these are. This is a main crop cauliflower. Sometimes there's a reason why there's one particular variety in the grocery store, and that's because it grows really well. So what I like to do is have a main variety, the kind I would find in the grocery store, and then kind of do some different fun things. But I don't like to make the whole garden different fun things, because if it fails, or if it just kind of does so-so, then I don't get a very good harvest. So here is a variety called Graffiti, and I know it's that variety because it has that purple coloring to the interior leaves, and that's going to make a purple cauliflower head. And then I don't know what these are, but I'm guessing they're the flame, the yellow one. Probably going to pull that one and that one. That's a new one, a baby that I planted. Got some heavy bug damage. This one had bug damage, and I sprayed it with Dipple, which is an organic pesticide, because I could see it was caterpillars. And this is the new growth inside, so I just need to trim those dead leaves off. It's actually doing pretty good now. I came in here and planted Graffiti, because I decided, you know, I really want a lot of purple cauliflower, so I made a big space for the Graffiti cauliflower. And then this is the, I think I put storage cabbage, the storage number 4 right here. These are all the collards we've been picking off of, going down that row. And then there's some collards over there. That Brussels sprouts kind of looks like a little, I don't know, like a little $50 size roundish looking leaf. Those looked really terrible and pitiful when I first put them in, but they're actually looking great. I mean, they do have some bug damage, but as far as the size and the health of the overall plant, they look really good now. This is a red variety of lettuce called Sylvia. Looks like I got, oh man, I got really excited when I was pulling weeds over here a minute ago, and I got dirt all in this one. Never get all that out. And the lettuces that I planted in September, they're all bolting. So I went ahead and cut them as soon as I saw that they were bolting, so that I could get some good leaves out of them that aren't super bitter. But I do have some lettuce in plug trays, maybe a few dozen plants that I can come in here and plant, and I'll probably do that this weekend. Some more Sylvia. This is the romaine. You can see it's really tall. And when lettuce bolts, it doesn't make a head. So that's just what bolting is, when it shoots up and it makes a flower. Now sometimes you can get a head and then you let it continue to mature, and it will make a flower out of that. That's still called bolting. But if it's too hot, the lettuce plant, even if it's a head type variety like iceberg or romaine, it will skip the head stage altogether and go straight to bolting. So that's what they did. But I was able to get maybe about 6 gallon bags full of chopped washed leaves out of that. So I got 2 sad kohlrabi right here. All this is celery and celeriac. I don't know which one's which. They look exactly the same. I will say that the celeriac in the early stages was always smaller than the celery. So I do suspect that the smaller, kind of weaker plants are the celeriac. And then here, what did I plant here? I planted this last night. You see that headlamp and that ladder? I planted this last night with a, well, I'm sorry, not a headlamp, a floodlight and ladder. I planted this last night with a headlamp and a flood lamp. So I'm a hardcore gardener, a night garden. Shoot. Oh, this is Veronica broccoli, or Veronica cauliflower. It's got the spiral head. The heirloom variety of that's called Romanesco. And here I was pulling weeds, and that's the end of the garden update. I've got some jalapenos that I need to stuff, and I got to cook dinner. So hope you have a great week.